Hello and welcome to the Women's History Month special with HOMTV. I'm your host, Tiara Riddick, and I am sitting here with Dawn Mericle of Mericle Post LCC. So Dawn, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So we're just going to hop right into it. So Dawn, why don't you tell me about yourself? I understand that you're a former HR rep. Can you give me a little bit of a background about yourself?
My background is basically a talent acquisition, recruiting, human resources. I've done it for probably the last 13 years. So that's basically what brought my passion to want to open a business and do Mericle Post.
Okay, so what made you want to get started with Mericle Post? Was there any type of motivation behind starting that business, or was it just within yourself?
Well, the company that I run has several different branches to it. So we do resumes, we do career consulting, we do classes, and we also focus on veterans. So the reason that I got started in it, basically I was creating a lot of resumes for people and reviewing them as a recruiter to hire people at a corporate level. And I was noticing that as I was doing interviews with people that there were a lot of really good skills and qualities about them that were missing from their resumes. So that's what I wanted to branch off into creating resumes for, because I realized that there's so many great candidates out there and people just can't find them because they're missing so much key information from their resumes. So that's why I do that branch of our business, because I like to focus on educating people on how to do their resumes and make sure the right information is in those.
Okay, so you hit on 3 points: the resumes, the career consulting, and the classes.
The classes, yeah.
As well. I'm sorry about
and
that.
veterans, and I focus on
the
veterans
veterans. So you covered the resumes just a bit. Can you tell me about the career consulting part of your
Sure.
business that you do?
Yeah, the consulting part basically is we take appointments. Some people like to do it in more of a class group setting, but a lot of our clients are kind of private. They might be going up for a promotion within their company, or they might just want to get back into the workforce. We have a lot of parents that are stay-at-home parents that have worked from home for quite a few years, and they just have problems with those hard-hitting interview questions or filling in those gaps on their resumes. So the consulting part basically is a pre-screening interview, and I just sit down and kind of coach them and get some of the information from them about their background and what they've done. And that actually helps me create their resume if that's a need that they also want me to do. If not, it just helps them answer some interview questions, maybe get them through the door for the interview, give them some education tips on social media marketing. A lot of the media web-based platforms are so different now. A recruiter that is actually searching for a candidate, they're doing a keyword search. They're not technically using a title anymore. So a lot of people that just do their resumes on their own, or they use those filters or wizards that are online that are free, they're not educated on from a recruiting standpoint on what we're actually looking or how we're looking for candidates. The first 50 candidates that are chosen, the job is usually shut down at that point on job boards. If you have a lot of special characters and formatting in your resume, those get kicked out of the system, which they would never tell you that. The other thing too is that if you don't have your skill sets in the right places in your resume, the employer won't consider you for the position, because basically there's 3 things that an employer is thinking about. Are you going to fit in with the culture of our company? Do you have the skills that we're looking for? And most likely they're looking to see if you're going to make them any return on their investment. So as long as you have those 3 objectives covered in your resume, then that's helpful. Speaking of objectives, that's probably the most challenging thing. An objective is not a cover letter. It's a starting point for a reader to want to continue to read through the rest of your resume. So you just want to hit on some key things about what your objective is, what you're passionate about, and what you're looking for. So I just do a lot of coaching with that. Also, how to market yourself on social media. and what not to do with Facebook, Twitter. The employers will check your social media to see what kind of a person that you are. So you just want to make sure that you have all that set up.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what the consulting's involved with. And then, of course, we have our classes.
Yeah, so tell me about your classes. You listed a wide array of things, what you guys do with the consulting. Do you guys teach this in your classes as well? Take me through like a normal class setup.
So the classes are basically set up at various campuses around the area. We are a Michigan-based company, but we're on the internet. So we do have clients all over the United States since I have a military background and I've traveled. So people have shared our website and shared different things about the services that we offer. But the classes are all held strictly here in Michigan, in mid-Michigan area. We've partnered with a lot of the local schools to get space to actually host classes. They're posted once a month on our website. So you can visit our website and see when the next class is going to be held. Basically, the classes are very similar to the consulting part, but the nice thing about that is there's an open-end question and answer time for students. Colleges have career service departments, but they're very brief on what they have time to consult with the students about. They do get you started on the right path. But the goal for Mericle Post is to help you get what you need and educate you on what it is that you're doing to eliminate the frustration. And the classes basically take you, instead of behind the scene, I say behind the screen of the computer. So you know what recruiters are doing, what job boards are looking for, how they're posting, things like that.
Okay. So you mentioned you work with veterans and that you have military background. Well, you come from a family that has a military background. Can you tell me what made you want to help out with people involved, veterans, people involved in the military? Was it your personal connection with that, with your family?
Yep. I've been traveling around the world in the U.S. and over in Europe ever since I was 7. With a military family. My dad is still active military right now, and my mother worked at the National Guard. My brother was a military police officer. So I've been involved with the military pretty much my whole life, and I realized that retirees and veterans have been my highest clientele and students. We also have people that, have been laid off and things like that. They've been out of the workforce. But veterans and retirees are the most clientele that I have. Veterans are challenged with translating their military experience from after deployment, getting their translation done from military into our language. Civilian language. So just being active, being around military. I worked briefly helping out the Michigan Veterans Affairs agencies, and I've partnered with the military armed forces as well. So just meeting with a lot of clients, I have that passion for them. So I reach out to that clientele and they reach out to me. And there's a whole veterans page listed on my website as well with job boards and things like that.
Okay, so we're almost out of time here and I have one more question for you. So I am a college student. I work with resumes and cover letters, and I love when people give me advice about how to better my resume, how to better my cover letter. What advice do you give to people that come to you personally looking just to better their resume, just so they have a better experience or just a better chance at being at the top or being pushed one step above somebody else when it comes to getting the job that they want?
Sure. Basically, what I would tell a student like yourself is at first I would review what you have, if you have anything at all. If you don't have any work history and you've just done internships and things like that, we would just highlight on your major and then make sure that your keywords are in there and what your focus is, and then give you very steady objective on your resume. And then what I would do is I would go to the bottom and I would fill in all of your volunteer work, community service work, any boards that you sit on, community service, highlight you as a person and who you are. If you have had some work, I would just make sure all those keywords are in there, skills that tie into what focus you're wanting to get into, what kind of a career focus. So that's what I would advise you to do there.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
You can follow us at HOMTV on Facebook and Twitter to keep up. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.